Hello everybody and welcome back to another Oscar prediction video where today we will be taking a look at the category of Best International Feature Film. So, this is a hard one, you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been doing these videos for a long time now, and for years, international feature was super easy because you just go with the one film that is also nominated for Best Picture. Well, last year, they nominated 2 international features for Best Picture, and then this year they did the same thing. So, this category went from being the easiest to call to being one of the hardest to call. It is a very, very tight race between 2 movies that both stand a really serious chance. And that is a shame to the other 3 movies that are nominated in this category, all of whom are worthy. But, yeah, this one's really, really tough, and I'm going to try my best, but you may want to take this prediction with a grain of salt. 5th most likely to win is The Voice of Hind Rajab. So, this is the one nominee in this category that is not from Neon. I know some of you might be upset that this is here in place of No Other Choice. I will say, for what it's worth, this is a very strong film, although it's a film that has proven to be somewhat divisive, not just because it's about the Israel-Palestine conflict, but just because of the way it chooses to present its story. Because in the film, we are hearing the actual voice of 6-year-old Hind Rajab when these recordings were made, which, don't get me wrong, is very, very impactful to hear, but at the same time, it also draws attention to the artifice of the other actors and everything going on around her. So, it's kind of a weird movie because most live-action films don't draw attention to the artificiality of them in the way that this one does. And some people have argued that it's an incredibly, incredibly powerful film, and others just aren't quite sure what to make of it. I think the fact that this is the surprise nominee of the category, this is the one that took No Other Choice's spot, I don't know if that's entirely fair, but that's how the movie is viewed. And it just doesn't have the backing of Neon, to be quite frank. It's the one non-Neon title here. And, yeah, solid nomination, but I don't think it's going to win. 4th most likely to win is Seurat. So, finally caught up with this one earlier this week. Now there's only 3 Oscar-nominated features that I have not seen and probably will not get a chance to see before the Oscars. But hey, this is the second year in a row that I've watched all of the nominees in the international feature category, and this is a very strong film. Like Hind Rajab, a bit of an unconventional film, a film that leaves you unsure of how to think, but it is hard to deny the level of craft and filmmaking prowess that went into it. A very, very strong nominee, but the fact that it isn't in Best Picture is pretty much the thing working against it. I should have mentioned this earlier, but Voice of Hind Rajab is the only nominee in this category that does not have an additional nomination somewhere else. And Seurat does and has a nomination for Best Sound, which is not nothing, but I think the other films in this category have nominations in above-the-line categories, and so Seurat does seem to be the default number 4, though it is a strong film, and in a weaker year it could have held up better. But, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think this is getting any higher than number 4. 3rd most likely to win is It Was Just an Accident. And this one kills me because this one should be winning, quite frankly. It Was Just an Accident is a freaking phenomenal movie. And to be honest, if this movie were up for Best Picture, which it should be, then it would be my vote in that category over One Battle in Sinners. This is a truly special work of art, and you owe it to yourself to check it out if you haven't. And there is a part of me that is like, if that top 2 ends up being really high, could enough people vote for this in 3rd place? But I can't get anywhere close to predicting that because it's not up for Best Picture and the other 2 films are. And so it has to be in 3rd place by default. It has an original screenplay nomination, so it has some support. And I like to imagine that some people are voting for this, but it would be absolutely insane for me to predict this to win over the 2 Best Picture nominees. So, amazing, powerful movie. Please watch it if you haven't, but it's not going to win. Okay, here goes nothing. I have to make a call. 2nd most likely to win is sentimental value. I said it. I said it. Okay, so let's try to justify this. So, on paper, sentimental value should be winning here. It has more precursor wins. It has the BAFTA win, and nominated for Best Picture, also nominated for Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Editing, which, the other movie in this category does not have. A very, 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 very well-liked film, undeniably. Now, this race does have a lot of similarities to what happened last year with I'm Still Here, another Brazilian movie that managed to beat a movie with a much higher nomination count. But, as I said last year, the main reason why Emilia Perez lost is because that movie was at the center of so much backlash and controversy, which Sentimental Value is not. So, logically, that was a very, very, very unique situation, and I should not be predicting Brazil to repeat here. Sentimental Value is really, really strong. But I've noticed it's not as strong as it was when it initially premiered in Cannes. The hype for the film has cooled a little bit since Cannes, and it just doesn't seem to be it's still got a lot of nominations, don't get me wrong, but a lot of nominations does not always translate to a win. I've noticed that. And here's the other thing. Maybe this is a weird thing to base it on, but I noticed last year that Emilia Perez, despite getting so much love, I had to keep reminding myself that it was an international feature, even though it obviously wasn't in English. The fact that it starred actors who were very well known in America sort of made it feel a little bit more mainstream. And you can say the same thing about Sentimental Value, that it stars very recognizable American actors, and notably, all of the scenes with Elle Fanning are in English. This movie has quite a bit of English in it, so maybe it doesn't feel as international as the other film that I've yet to talk about that is very, very much about its country. And so, yeah, this is tough. This is very, very tough. And I fully recognize that Sentimental Value is the smart move. But my prediction, number one most likely to win, is The Secret Agent. Now, I am basing this off of very, very little credible evidence. It does have a solid amount of precursor support. It has the Golden Globe. It has the Critics' Choice, albeit in a very, very weird circumstance where Sentimental Value was not eligible for the Critics' Choice. I have to remember that. But at the same time, Secret Agent has been coming on so strong. For a long time, I assumed that It Was Just an Accident was going to rank higher than Secret Agent, but that was not the case. Secret Agent just has this really, really passionate surge of support, and I think a big part of that is what's happening in our country now, and the themes of the film, the themes about how fascism can creep into a country, the themes about how you do to survive fascism, and the importance of telling our history so that future generations don't forget. The themes of this movie are resonating so much more in our current political moment than the themes of Sentimental Value, which is just a filmmaker father trying to connect to his kids. It's tough. It's really, really tough, but I do think the political thing does give the film a little bit of an edge. And I recognize that it would be crazy for Brazil to win 2 years in a row, but I don't know. I'm not really basing this off of anything specific other than just vibes. The more I think about this category, the more I think that The Secret Agent is just the film that more people are excited about right now. It's the film that feels more international, it has a greater narrative behind it, and it's more relevant to our political moment. And Wagner Moura is a solid part of the Best Actor race. The movie also has a nomination for Best Casting, which Sentimental Value does not have, and I know that's a moot point because Sentimental Value has so much. I gotta go with my feeling. I gotta go with my gut. I know that Sentimental Value is the smart choice, but something tells me not to underestimate Brazil. So thank you very much for watching, and tune in tomorrow when I will be taking a look at the category of Best Actor. See you then.